I'm sweating, but they're making so many noises outside my window. Hi! If you're new here, hi, my name is Marta, I'm 23 years old and I'm from Spain. I live in Spain because life is Spain. And today I'm going to tell you why you should learn Spanish. Now, some of the things, they can be applied to other languages, but some of the things are specifically for Spanish, so bear with me. Anyways, I think if you learn any language, this is a hot take, I'm gonna get hate for this, but I think going through life just knowing one language and pretending that everyone else knows that language, that everyone else is going to be able to understand you and talk to you in that language, I think it's a bit pretentious. Now, I'm not saying everyone should be bilingual. I mean, it's good to be fluent in a different language that's not your mother tongue. However, I know that's not obtainable for most people, but I do think that just putting the effort to try and learn a bit of a different language, and it doesn't have to be English or Spanish, or like if you speak German and you just like Italian, for instance, just learn a little bit of Italian just to know the basics. You know, I think that's important. This is my hot take today, but reasons why you should learn Spanish. First of all, this is for every language ever, since I'm just saying you should learn any language. It's good for the brain. This is proven. This is a fact. I'm not making this up, and I don't think it's exactly the same, but you know how people say it's good to do sudokus to improve memory, and it was for something specific. What's the sudokus to prevent Alzheimer's? Am I making this up? I think that was something like that, and I believe learning a language is kind of similar. It's good for the brain. You just exercise it in a way, so in general it's good for you, for your health, for your mental health. It's studying, but I think it's in a more fun way than other things, because languages include listening to music, listening to podcasts, watching a TV show, reading a book. So it's like you don't have to specifically sit down and memorize stuff. That's a part of it, of course, but it has a way more, and then it's like, I don't know, I think it's really cool. Now, second, this is more Spanish-like because Spanish is the fourth more spoken language in the world after English, of course, Chinese Mandarin Chinese, I think it's called, and Hindi. Those are the three more spoken, and then Spanish. However, Spanish is the second native more talk, which I said this terrible. This is the second in like native speakers, you know, like mother tongue people like me. Like my first language is Spanish, after Mandarin, after Chinese, which is crazy. I thought there were more people, like native people, that spoke English, so that's impressive. And I looked it up, about 550 million people in the world speak Spanish, which is crazy. Like, that's so many people. So you could be one more. I'm just saying, you could be one. And I think what I said before, like people usually go to English or Spanish, and I think it's smart just because, again, it's the most spoken they are the most spoken language. Of course, you could try to learn Chinese, but I think that's so difficult that if you just want the basis, or you just don't have the time to study a lot for a long time, so for a long period of time, and you just want to, you know, just watch this TV show, just learn this vocabulary, I think Chinese you have to spend way more time. So if you had that time, if you like Chinese, that's amazing, do learn Chinese. If you're like, I have 5 minutes every day to try to learn something, I think Spanish is way more obtainable. I think going through life with English and Spanish, it opens a lot of doors. The likelihood that in one place they don't speak either English nor Spanish is very little, in my opinion, I think. And in those cases, I feel like you have to know that specific language that they speak there. Like, for instance, I think in Japan, they don't really speak much English, they don't really speak much Spanish. I said that the other way around, much Spanish. I feel like if you were to Japan, yes, they probably won't understand you either in English or Spanish, but you would have to learn Japanese specifically, you know what I mean? Like, I speak English, so in places where they speak English, they're going to understand me. I speak Spanish, so places where they speak Spanish, they're going to understand me. But also, there are so many, maybe not so many, but there are some languages that are very similar to Spanish or maybe English, so I could also go to that, you know what I mean? What Spanish nowadays, I think, is very famous for songs. I think everyone is listening to reggaeton these days, like Latin pop. I love it. I love Bad Gyal, Karol G, Becky G, Bizarrap. I love these people. I love this music.
Llega al club con el combo, rápido, largo y lejos. Se pintaban los labios y la copa como espejo.
Pam, 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 cerramos la reja. Mami de no es más pendeja. Ahora tengo la pestaña, mira la ceja.
And I think way more people are listening to these songs, and just like people who are real big fans of K-pop are usually interested in Korean as well. I see so many people that like K-dramas and K-pop and they're trying to learn Korean. I feel like people who like this type of Spanish music aren't really interested in Spanish specifically, and I think it will be really nice just to understand what their songs are saying, especially because I'm going to say most of them are really nasty and dirty, and like people don't know what they're saying. Like, it's fine to not know and just try to lip sync the song even though you don't know what they're saying. But I don't know, like, I feel like it's nice to know what their songs are saying. It's nice to be able to sing them just in general. And of course, again, if you like songs from a specific country or in a specific language, I think it's always like, I want to learn that. You know, I've been recently listening to some Italian songs and now I want to know Italian. Last thing is very similar to this, but just movies, shows, comedy. Like, movies and shows, you're like, I don't need to really know Spanish because I'm just going to watch it with the subtitles and that's it. And for the most part, yes, you're right, like, you don't need to know Spanish for that. But with comedy, I think Spanish comedy is so underrated and it's so good, like so good. And I don't think you fully understand what they're saying if you just read the subtitles, just because some jokes cannot be translated. And I say this because I love comedy and I've watched a lot of comedy in English, and I do watch things in English with the subtitles in Spanish. However, when it's comedy, they're not that useful because I understand what they're saying, like I'm hearing what they're saying, and then I read the subtitles and it's like some jokes, they got lost in the we got lost in translation, like Taylor Swift song. Because again, like it's really difficult to translate jokes, you know what I mean? Because some are word games or are like reference to culture, and so it's really hard to translate, so that's huge. Like, I think if you don't know, you can still watch comedy in languages that you don't speak, but I think it's just going to be like half of it, in my opinion. It's going to be half of the joke, most of the jokes. So I encourage you to find some Spanish comedians. I could do a video about it because I love Spanish comedy. I love comedy in general and I love Spanish comedy. So if you want me to do a video about it, comment down below. And I also put content like YouTube content, for instance. I think there are some very good Spanish YouTubers, or not Spanish but Hispanic. Again, like programs, there are so many good programs, and again, like you could watch them with subtitles, but on YouTube sometimes the subtitles are not accurate or they are not there at all. Like if you watch a video in Spanish, maybe they don't have English subtitles. So I think that's also like huge for me, like watching content, programs, all of that. all of that jazz. I think you could benefit a lot from learning Spanish, so let me know in the comments if you are trying to learn Spanish. If you have questions about Spanish, you can let me know and I'll do a video about it. I was thinking about making a video explaining the accents in Spanish, so let me know if you want that. I could do that. Please do subscribe if you want to learn more about Spain, about Spanish. If you like this type of content, if you like this video, you're going to like this channel, so please stay with us and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.